Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and pinball time. So, quick peek at what's going on right now, and what we're looking at here is the market maker positioning. This is options depth, and what we're seeing is this is where market makers are short, customers are long. So, the 6615 was there all day. Mentioned it in the morning in my note on the broadcast we did here. And these overhead calls would have a tendency to decay, so we don't get sucked up there unless they buy, unless people are buying. So 510, this is the area, just based on looking at this, where we sort of should close. Below 15, above oh 05. And we're going to look at what they have there a little more granularly to see, because if customers are going to sell it, if you're longer put versus shorter call, you're you would expect a different price action and a different reaction on the other side from the dealer. So it looks like the 6610 calls are kind of there. Customers long them, so a 1015 call might be a trade. And we're just gonna I'm just gonna kind of look around. I don't have my mindset on anything yet. And here's the chart. And basically, we opened over, where was it? We opened over 6,600, and we've kind of stayed in the chop zone that I identified in my morning note all day long. It was a great day for selling premium. In the morning, let's get back to here. This call spread came in 66, 40, 45. I was already short the 66.40 calls before that came in. And the puts that came in the morning, I don't remember. They were pretty far away. I think, yeah, they were these. So this was the iron condor that whoever did 66.40 calls were sold, and 65.40 puts were sold, roughly 100-point distance, but it wasn't equidistant from spot. This was a lot closer. Then I did a trade a little later in the day, something that I don't typically do. I sold 5 wide, put debit spreads and call spreads. I sold a 5 wide iron condor that I closed at my profit target. But the interesting thing was this. Let me show you guys, 'cause I know you're as interested in this as I am. Joke. So in the morning, for some odd reason that I couldn't figure out, somebody came in and bought these puts, and they added to them because they had bought more. Oh, hold on. I don't know why it's not showing the timing right. Let's make it 5-minute bar so we can see it better. Okay, so there was some accumulation of these puts. So at 11 o'clock, there was a buy of these puts over here at, or 11:15, whatever it was. They paid $1.20. They added more over here for 75 cents. And they could have gotten out over here for whatever it was, profit, but they didn't. So now it's renting, melting to zero. That was just one of those trades that made me scratch my head and wonder, try to figure out some wisdom, but there was no wisdom that I could figure out, and still looks like it wasn't wise. I'm not sure what the, you know, I mean, it kind of wasn't a bad trade if you monetized it up here, and when we were all the way up in when we were like 25 points away from that. Okay, it seemed like a good convex idea, but now it doesn't seem like an idea at all. Okay, so anyway, so I was looking around at how I would trade this. So I mean, one thing obviously is a simple fly like this for $1.50. Now here the question is, does it pay to do a fly versus just buy the call? And do we close above 65.10, or do we go into this area over here? Those are the questions. Where's the rest of my pinball players? So let's go back to look at the data. And if I go to depth view, I can see exactly what, okay. So three, we have about 11,000 contracts kind of in this action zone. That's what I'm trying to decide myself. Okay, so customers along those calls at 26 at 6 at 10. Customers are long puts at 66.05. So this is long puts over here and short calls over here at 15. This might be the better trade. Oh, actually, hold on. I already had calls on. So if I did it, I would want to do it on the put side, only because I don't want to. If I bought them back when I sold this fly, if I had profit on one and a loss on the other one, then I don't want the watch sale rule to make it all weird. See, if I kept it 470, like I said in the morning, but I didn't keep it. So that was the smart trade, so to speak. That's with paper hands. I'm gonna try one of those again. Same thing for tomorrow. And if we get to 10 or not depends on, do we see people adding to these? And we have those calls from this morning still there, and that's another one. I had paper hands. I made like $50 on it. And if I would have held on to it, I would have made like 400. So here's what I got for it. I got 180 for it. If I would have held on to it now, I would have gotten $4. Yeah, it took a while. How did you do on yours? I kind of just sort of arbitrarily did that. To tell you the truth, I didn't really analyze it cleanly, but let's do that now. I don't mind being a little careless with my money, but I don't want to be careless with your money. 95 might not be bad. Make $30 per contract. Nice. Let's take a look at what tomorrow looks like real quick. Sometimes just seeing the shape of the profile helps. Okay. So tomorrow, I mean, if we see weakness, 95 or or 30, those are the two. If you wanted to pay a lot of money, 95 fly somewhere in here, or 05, 15, 05, 15, 25 would be good. You know, in theory, you want this to be a short strike, not a long strike. So 6,600, 65. So this might be a good, I might look at a cheapy one of these also. For a quarter, how can you go wrong, right? I don't even mind that for 95 cents. Yeah, so here's one cheap five wide, 30 cents on the put side. And here's 35 cents on the call side. So here I'm playing both sides cheap. So here I am betted a five wide and a 10 wide, looking for trouble. It looks like something just filled. Oh, maybe it's in a different account. All right. So who's got some pin numbers? Yeah, there's the 10 and the 6615 that we've been looking at all day since the morning, since over the weekend. Well, we typically don't pin on a customer long strike, so we should push. Well, we're in the middle of this. Oh, 950. There we go. Now we're talking. Now remember, a long call above. Well, who said it? Doesn't really matter. A long call above is not going to customer long dealer short call above is not going to act the same way as a short customer short market maker long above. A customer short market maker long above attracts you to it in a mean reverting way. Here, this is either going to decay to zero, pushing us down here, or it could go in the money and pull us up, depending when they close us. So really, this should decay down. This should decay and start pushing us down. So it looks like pretty tight range. And let's take a look. What's the straddle price now? About 5. So basically, at this point, we really only have $5 to move. Ooh, 13. I remember you. I didn't you win it the other day? Oh boy, now we're getting real competitive here. We got a 13 and a 12. So I don't even know if I don't remember if I did a 5 for today. I guess now. Oh, I did not. I didn't do anything for today. Oh, 5. You just saying that to be a wise guy. Yeah, CMG. I have this fly. And this was a quote unquote hedge, and like usual, buying a long hedge like that in a VIX is a loser. Genghis said it. Have you been reading the Genghis book? I mean, '05 is not watch the Netflix series. They don't have a good Netflix Genghis series. No, 13 not looking good. As I said when we were looking at it and talking about it, customers are seeing this is an update. That's annoying. We have to ask ourselves what happens to the value of these 6610 calls. They erode. And so, from a market maker point of view, we have to ask ourselves what happens to the delta. The deltas of these decay, so whatever futures they are holding on to hedge that, they're getting rid of. Hold on a second. Somebody's bleeding in here. Who's the culprit? I'm not sure. I can't spot him. Let's look at it from a delta point of view. So here's where the most gamma or convexity is going to be right here, where the 6610 goes from a 45 delta to a 50 to a 1 delta, or from a 45 delta collapses to zero. Similarly, and the was the '05. Were they? What's the position at '05 again? Who remembers? Quickest way for me to see that, given the way I have everything set up, would be like this. Now I'm on the customer side of the table. At 6605, it looks like they own the puts. So again, what do the dealers have to do? If we go down, they hedge in the direction of the move. They short. That's the gamma of it. That's fighting or interacting with the charm, which think of it as the theta. So these put these where are they? These puts at 6605 are losing value. So their market makers have to buy. As they lose value, they have to buy back their short hedges. These calls up here at 15, well, we know that they're dead meat. And 10 is the inflection point. And look at that. Looks like you're back in the saddle. And from here we have 3 minutes, so it's anybody's ball game. And I'm just going to play the woulda, coulda, shoulda regret game. And what trade was this? Oh, I was going to just put on. Where's the one from? Where's the call fly? I can't find it now. Look from today. All right, here was the call fly that I sold too cheap. Oh, look at that. Now it's actually losing. So there was that window that it was worth $5 or $4. Now it would have been a losing trade if I held on to it. That's why it's tricky with these, knowing when to get out. That's kind of why I end up paper handing a lot. Okay, so the 15s, are they still holding? Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm screen sharing. Okay. I mean, it looks like they did. Looks like they held on all day. Yeah, Victor, yeah, yeah, we had vol up, spot up. And it's hard to interpret one interpretation. The standard interpretation is market makers were short. When market makers are short an option, they're short volatility. And so they have to buy volatility to chase up. The other interpretation is people are buying hedges ahead of the FOMC. So we don't know who to blame it on, so to speak. So right above 15, okay. Cheap straddle for tomorrow, only 21 points. No one's expecting anything until the FOMC. Yep. Yeah, we had spot up, vol up. And I think it was a combination of FOMC and skew, of market makers being short calls. But if we want some kind of confirmation, VVIX popped a little bit. Looks like tails. Okay, well, that's it. Over 15, That's it. I give you. You've been winning a lot lately, Mr. Wong or Miss Wong. Good job. Okay, so I'm gonna end it and go mess with the goats and get ready to watch Monday Night Football. All right, everybody. And I'll be doing a webinar Wednesday night for all my subscribers. It'll be, I guess, a combination of walking through the different channels we have, as well as basic trade setup, flies, all that sort of thing. Gamma and delta explainer. Any questions, put them in, and it'll be that kind. It'll be kind of a general community meeting, we'll call it. And let me end the stream now. Good night, everyone.